not looking at snow. We're looking at rain in southern Quebec, in Montreal, the Laurentians, La Naudière, the South Shore, and the eastern townships. That rain moves in tonight, about 5 millimeters of rain tonight, and then more periods of rain tomorrow. Now, couple that with very warm temperatures. We'll hit the double digits by Monday. So what does all this mean for spring flooding in Quebec? This could spell trouble. Let's get some answers here from Djordje Romanic, who's Associate Professor in the Department of Atmospheric and Oceanic Sciences at McGill University. He's live in studio. Djordje, welcome back to the show. Great to see you again.
Great to be back.
What goes through your mind as an expert here in oceanic and atmospheric sciences when you hear a forecast like this?
Well, freezing rain is a particular phenomenon. So I was listening you talking about it, and I would really urge people to be careful. Freezing rain is a rare event compared to many other meteorological phenomena, but it's very dangerous, not just for driving, but also for walking around.
Yeah.
In terms of weather here in Montreal, we are most likely not going to get freezing rain, but we might get significant rain tonight and tomorrow. Now, whether or not that will cause flooding, it's another story. Probably not this particular rain episode tonight and tomorrow will probably not be associated with flooding.
Yeah, I like your word to describe it as an episode. This is like a 24-hour event, less than 24 hours, in terms of what the forecasting is showing, because we got a lot of snow this winter, and I'm thinking, okay, all this snow has to melt. Plus, couple that, if we have a rainy spring, I mean, what do you look out for in terms of forecasting how high a risk of flood season we could have?
Yeah. So this season, spring season, namely March, April, May, seems to be normal, and I can explain what that means in terms of temperature anomalies. So we might have a little bit colder March and April, but May is still far away. It might be a little bit warmer than usual. So in terms of temperature, we are probably going to be as usual. In terms of precipitation, the seasonal forecast indicates that precipitation might exceed normal levels. So that indicates to me that towards the end of this spring season, maybe late April or beginning of May, it's far away, I know, but that period might be susceptible to flooding. It's not particularly severe, perhaps like in 2019 or so on, but there is a possibility.
Yeah, because we did have a couple of years, I think it was 2017, then again 2019, and everyone was kind of bracing for it, saying, okay, what does this year hold in store? So when you say normal, then what exactly is that based on? Is that the average of the last 70 years of record keeping?
Almost right. Yeah. Normal means it's average of 30 years rather than 70.
Okay.
So you are spot on. And in our practice, we use normal that is 1981-2010. That shifts as the time is progressing. But in this region, southern Quebec, Montreal, climatological normal is around positive 6 degrees Celsius for the spring season, March, April, May.
Okay,
so
when
I say below normal, it means
would be 6.
Exactly.
Okay.
Normal is around 6. Below normal is below 6. Above normal is above 6 degrees Celsius. Yeah. Average for these 3 months. I can go a little bit deeper, just without numbers. Of course, normal for March is below 0, around 0 or so is April, and then it's way warmer in May. So when you take average of these two, you get around 6.
In terms of getting these peaks, right, either very cold or much warmer, I imagine if you get a couple of days where it's very warm, you're having faster melts. Isn't that also a role in terms of determining risk of flooding? Because you can still have average 6 degrees, but if all of a sudden you get a couple of days of plus 15, I mean, how do you calculate how quickly things are melting?
Absolutely. So I'll just maybe rephrase what you said, because that's correct. It's not just how warm it is, it's how suddenly you get high temperature episodes. And that's unfortunately very difficult to predict, particularly when if you would now ask me what's going to happen at the end of April or May, it's extremely difficult, almost impossible to predict some few day short episodes of high temperature coupled with a lot of snow that is melting and so on.
Yeah.
So when it goes to calculation, this is why flooding is so difficult to forecast. You see, as a atmospheric scientists or meteorologists, we can forecast how much rain we will get or how snow will melt or ice will melt and so on. But that's not the whole story. There is the other part of the story, and that's hydrology, that's state of the soil. So also engineering part here in sewage system and so on. So all these things play a role in flooding. That's why forecasting flooding is really multidisciplinary part, because meteorology just gives you how much water you will get, but all these other fields tell you how is it going to be redistributed. Is it going to go to rivers, to soil, and so on?
Yeah, very good point. Are our sewers in a place where they can take it? Are they frozen shut? Also, I'm thinking of the soil, of the ground. We've had a very cold winter, and I assume the colder the soil, the less it's able to absorb?
Absolutely, absolutely. So, I mean, if it is freezing and very cold, it's like almost like a brick, like a concrete. But also, even if it melts, even if it is not frozen, it still means it's very saturated with water. In other words, it doesn't need more water. So that excess of water will just flow into rivers or sewage system. And if the sewage system is not properly maintained or not efficient enough, then you might get some localized flooding.
Yeah.
I don't want to scare people. This season seems not to be extremely likely in terms of severe flooding, but there is possibility later in this spring season.
Yeah. In terms of what people can do to prepare then, what are things we should start taking note of?
Follow weather forecast, follow also forecast of water levels from hydrological agencies. And then if there is flooding in your area, of course, don't go out, particularly don't drive. I usually when I teach about precipitation and flooding, I calculate for students how easy it is to lift car when the car goes in water. So
it takes, just a few centimeters,
exactly.
Right?
It's just depends on the weight of the car, but 20, 30, 40 centimeters of water can lift normal car.
Yeah, you're floating away.
Exactly, and you're floating away. You can throw away that car. And secondly, even more importantly, probably it should be, firstly, it's a danger. I mean, you can get injured or even worse.
Yeah.
So don't play tough. Don't go into the water with car.
It's very true. And even walking, as a reporter who has covered flood zones before, it's the first thing they teach you before you head out on the road. If you cannot see what's beneath the water, then you shouldn't step there, because there could be something as simple as a pothole, or there could be something more where you would just trip and fall, or it might be much deeper than you think. You just don't know what's below that water.
That's right. That's also what they teach you in off-roading schools. If you drive SUVs, if you want to go over water, go out and then put some stick inside to see how deep it is. Exactly what you said. If you don't see the bottom, don't risk.
Yeah, it is a risk indeed. Djordje, just before you go, you mentioned one of the hardest things to predict is the flooding season, is to come up with a flooding forecast. What can be done? What are we missing here in order to get more accurate readings of flood risks?
So each of these sub-disciplines can do more, of course. Meteorologists can have better forecasts. Now, that's easier said than done, because atmosphere is the most complicated system on this planet. So it's very difficult. Forecasts are calculated. So improving forecasts mean improving our calculation models, improving observations, improving, having better supercomputers, and so on. I could go now into details. Now, in terms of hydrological part, well, hydrologists can have better management of water resources. That maybe goes to better communication between Hydro-Quebec and Environment and Climate Change Canada that is issuing forecasts. In terms of, sewage system in Montreal, I'm not engineer for that, but I do know that Montreal, reading about this topic a little bit, Montreal has older sewage system than many other big cities in Canada. Certain parts of sewage system in Montreal are the oldest in North America.
Yeah.
So it's very difficult, of course, to upgrade that. But maybe something can be done to improve efficiency of that system. But that's beyond me. You know, I'm an atmospheric scientist. I'm just, it's easy to say.
You're throwing the ideas out there. You see possible solutions. It doesn't mean you personally have to solve them. Listen, thank you so much for your expertise and your insights. Djordje Romanic, thank you very much.
My pleasure, always.
Djordje Romanic is Associate Professor in the Department of Atmospheric and Oceanic Sciences at McGill University.